Every vlogger in Bali tells you about what to do here, but they don't tell you what this place does to you. And in this vlog, I'm going to tell you more about it. Currently walking down my street in a place called Babakan in Canggu. It's the quiet part of the well-known digital nomad paradise that is the southwestern point of Bali. And I want to speak a little bit about my own experience here. On this reverential day, it is the sacred holiday of Galungan in Bali, which is a time when the Balinese commemorate and celebrate this is a particularly loud motorbike about to come past. The Balinese commemorate and celebrate when their ancestors return back to the home. For 10 days they come back and there's celebrations and reunions. So in this video I'm going to share from an energetic practitioner's perspective what I wish I'd known, or what I wish people would tell other people more about Bali and what I've come to learn having lived here for, I think it's been 9 months, since February 2025, and it is now November. You can do the maths for me. I am not purporting to be an expert on this place. I'm just speaking from my experience and a repetitive conversation that I keep having with people about Bali. The first point is that you don't pick Bali, Bali picks you. It might be a call, it might be a sense of needing to go. I started to receive that kind of knowing, actually probably back in 2019, but I couldn't really listen to it because what shortly ensued was COVID times. But then more strongly it came through in the middle of last year, 2024. And it started to call and beckon. And I didn't really know what of it. I was in a relationship at the time, wasn't sure whether or not this was actually something that was feasible for either of us. And the longer story of that is probably for other formats, but suffice to say that the place called me and I came to visit, and I was with my partner at the time and we were here for 3 weeks. And just being back in Asia, I'm from Singapore originally, born and bred, and speaking Bahasa again, I learned it when I was in Singapore, and it's also very similar to Malay, which is a language I'm familiar with. It felt like home. It felt like my soul was just, like loving it. And on the last day before we left to go back to Australia, I bawled my eyes out. I just knew in my cells that I was meant to be here. And then I didn't know how or why or when that was going to happen, but it happened. A short few months later, I found myself in Bali. And at the time, I knew early on, communing with the land of Bali, that I had to live the question of whether or not I was meant to be here for a longer time. So this being chosen, it doesn't mean that you're meant to be here for a long time, because obviously you're not native. I'm not native. And I feel like Bali, if it calls you, it has medicine, and it might be medicine for a week, a few weeks, a few months, or a few years. And I have come to know since kind of arriving and getting to know a lot of local friends that Bali either sucks you in or it chews you up and spits you out. And I know it's a bit harsh, but it can be like that. And I feel like Bali gives you the medicine that you need, and it mirrors lessons that you need to bring into your awareness, which is why people have such different experiences living here, because there's a reflection that is very individual for each person. So I really feel like Bali calls you, and you need to then listen to what it instructs you to do. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to live here for long, if I was meant to just have a few experiences and then head back to Australia. But I followed the guidance that I was given, and every day I would be barefoot out on the land and communing with the energy of Bali and asking, like, how can I serve you? How can we co-create together? What can we do together? Show me, please, what do you want of me? And this brings me to my second point. Bali is a sentient being. It has an energy to it, and it's something that you may sense being away from it, but you only really know it when you're here. And the sentience of Bali, the energy of Bali, it will invite you into deeper introspection about yourself, but also it requires you to be in relationship to it. So if you come to this land, to this island, and you just assert your desires on it, and you say, I want this, I want this, I want this, and this is how it's going to go, can you imagine if you said that to a partner? I hope you don't just say that to a partner. I hope that, when there's a relationship that you enter into, friendship or whatever, that this is something that you co-create with them. That this is something that you actually talk to them about, right? Like, what do you want? Do you want me? Do you want to be with me? That kind of thing. That you have a conversation, that you are in communion with that other being. And in this case, that other being is Bali. That other being is asking you to show it what you can give to it. So really being in the energy of reciprocity, service, co-creation, collaboration, rather than purely extraction. What can I get? What can I get? Right? Which is sort of the neo-colonial aspect of why Bali does get a bad rap, not Bali itself, but people that come to Bali, digital nomads like me, foreigners get a bad rap. And you know what? Rightly so in many circumstances. There's some very badly behaving foreigners. But being in a space where you begin to relate to the land, to its people, and you say, how is it that I can add value here? That is what's required to ensure a longer term connection to the land and to its people. I mean, that doesn't necessarily even guarantee, like, I am still living the question. It's nearly a year in, and I am always looking for, the signs and the signals for what this land wants of me. And I feel like many more foreigners could probably do with a dose of asking that question too. How can I serve? How can I add value? How can I co-create with this land rather than constantly taking? I think a lot of the really not very nice things that happen to people here do come from that stirring up of karma, of conflict, when it's all just about extraction, because Bali just will not let you, it will not let you just get away with stuff. It will show you quite rapidly what's up and what's what. And so what I really wish for you to know, and what I wish I had known in the beginning, is that you aren't dealing with just a regular normal place when you come to Bali. There is medicine in the land. There is energy and sentience. This is a portal between the third chakra of the world and what some will argue is the crown chakra of the world, Mount Kailash. So Uluru in Australia and Mount Kailash in Tibet pass through, the energy of the world passes through the 4 mountains of Bali. And this means that there is potent vortexes all around here. And my theory also for all you mystics out there is that this is a landed 5th dimensional reality. So there is a lot of potential that you have here to weave the deepest desires that you have, if you have done the work, the inner work inside of you to tap into your heart. Because you see things come to fruition really quite rapidly here when you're doing the thing that you're meant to be doing in the world and you're on purpose. So treat this land as such. Treat its people as the reverent, heart-centered beings that they are, and with such respect and sacredness. And then you have the best opportunity to make the most of your time here. And whether that's realizing your own service or connecting with amazing people, or enjoying the beautiful nature of this land. Hi! There are so many things that may be the reason that you're feeling called. And just keep in mind that you're dealing with a sentient being who will reflect back to you what you need to learn, and you don't pick it, it picks you. Sending so much love. Bye.